Hello and welcome to Newsbeats on Internet Television International. This is our Abuja studio in Nigeria. I am Christine Opera. First, the headlines. Developments unfold in INEC. House recovers over 1 billion naira property fund. Ex-militants go to school. Onovo gives kidnappers deadline. Details in a moment. A major reorganization is taking shape at the Independent National Electoral Commission as the chairman, Professor Atahiru Jega, and his national commissioners hold a crucial meeting tomorrow in Calabar, the Cross River State capital. The meeting is to reposition the body ahead of the 2011 polls. The retreat, which will enable INEC undertake a comprehensive assessment of the state of its readiness for the task ahead, is to hold from July 15th to 17th. During the retreat, INEC leadership will review the state of its general administration and personnel, the existing departments, the budget vis-a-vis assets and liabilities, as well as the general framework for voters' enlightenment, voters' registration, logistics, and ICT infrastructure. The Commission will also consider the appropriate strategy for the conduct of elections at polling units, procedure for documentation and announcements of results, as well as the reorientation of its workforce. The Jega-led Commission will also brainstorm on other issues such as arrangements for training, monitoring of political parties, and relationships with national and international bodies such as the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), National Orientation Agency (NOA), European Union (EU), United States Agency for International Development (USAID), United Nations (UN), and the United Kingdom's Department for International Development (DFID). With the clearance of Oniyogi and Zachary, INEC now has 10 national commissioners, 8 new ones and 2 others from the Maurice Iwu era. In the meantime, the Senate yesterday confirmed 2 more nominees for appointment as INEC national commissioners. The 2, Dr. Abdul Kadiri Sulaiman Oniyogi from Kwara North Central Zone and Hajia Amina Bala Zakari from Jigawa Northwest, could not be screened alongside Jega and 6 new national commissioners on June 22nd and 23rd due to the delay in getting their security clearance. Senate President David Mark enjoined the new INEC commissioners to join hands with their colleagues to ensure there are free, fair and credible elections in the country. House of Representatives Committee on Housing and Habitat yesterday announced the recovery of a total of 1 billion naira from 6 commercial banks. The amount recovered represents interest that accrued to funds lodged in the 6 banks in favor of the Presidential Implementation Committee, PIC, on the lease of federal government landed property. Chairman House Committee on Housing and Habitat, Honorable Shehu Matazu, disclosed this in Abuja.
Chief front at this flagrant effort, flagrant affront by these banks, which is adjudged deliberate and aim of defrauding the government and people of Nigeria. It went further to threaten the concerned bank with invitation of the police and the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission.
Matazu had in August 2009 raised the alarm over certain anomalies discovered in their accounts where the proceeds of the sale of federal government houses were lodged, particularly the refusal of some of the banks to pay into the public treasury what was due to government. On his part, Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Chief Ndwese Essien, commended the House Committee on Housing as well as the Presidential Implementation Committee on the recovery of the funds.
I want to confirm, as the Chairman has reported, that as at July 9th, all the interests have been recovered from all the banks. So no bank is owing the PIC as at today. I also want to report that because of the difficulty of managing 14 accounts for the PIC, we called all the banks together yesterday and told them that we are going to streamline the number of banks that will keep PIC accounts. We are not going to have more than 6 banks to keep these accounts so as to ease reconciliation in the future.
The House Committee says it will soon embark on the second phase of its mandate, which is to recover all federal government properties anywhere in the world that were either seized illegally or sold without the funds being remitted into government treasury. The Inspector General of Police, Ogbonna Onovo, has given the abductors of the 5 journalists kidnapped in Obingwa area of Abia State last Sunday 24 hours to release them absolutely or face the rage of the law enforcement agencies in the country. Mr. Onovo, who met with the governor of Abia State, Theodore Orji, in Umuahia on Tuesday as part of his assessment of security measures already put in place in the southeast, warned that innocent people in the state might be affected when the police ambush against the criminals starts. He stated that the kidnappers had gone the extra mile this time with the abduction of innocent journalists, which he said would not be tolerated, adding that they should not see the steady development of tackling the kidnapping hazard in the country, particularly in the southeast, as a sign of weakness. He said the kidnappers had dared the federal government with their continued hold on the abducted journalists, telling them to surrender themselves. Mr. Novo, who was accompanied by the Assistant Inspector General Zone 9, the police commissioners of Imo, Abia, Anambra and Enugu states, asked the traditional rulers and indigenes of Ungwa land, the area where the incident happened, and the entire people of the state to warn their children and give up all criminal elements in their communities to the police for prosecution. He also commended the governor for the efforts he has made to assist the police in the state to combat criminality and urged him not to concede until the hoodlums were eradicated. At least it's good news for 13,000 former militants who will be sponsored to study at various higher institutions within and outside the country in batches. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godstay Orubebe, disclosed this in Akure, the Ondo State capital, on Tuesday after he inspected the various projects being executed by his ministry and the Niger Delta Development Commission in the oil-producing areas of the state. He said that the participation of foreign experts in their training was to give the ex-militants the best instructions and awareness that would alleviate their minds for positive thinking. The minister, however, pointed out that those who staged protests against the slow pace of the amnesty program of the federal government in Abuja recently were not included in the plan. According to him, the protesters were not among the 20,000 youths registered by the federal government before the expiration of the grace period for the submission of arms last year. Mr. Orubebe urged the former militants to remain tranquil and allow the government officials handling the project to execute programs that would assist them in becoming changed persons in the society. He also exonerated President Goodluck Jonathan of politicking at the expense of offering good governance to the people of the country. The abductors of Hajia Labara Abdullahi, mother of the besieged former president of the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, Sani Lulu Abdullahi, have placed a ransom of 200 million naira on the 72-year-old woman. Hajia Labara was kidnapped in her son's mansion in the town of Ayingba, Kogi State, by unknown gunmen on Monday evening. The kidnappers, it was learned, put a call through to the former NFF president early on Tuesday morning, demanding for the ransom to be paid immediately. Lulu, who was impeached alongside Amanze Uche Gulam, his first vice president, Taiwo Ogunjobi, chairman technical committee, by 9 out of the 12 executive members of the federation, penultimate Sunday at the Nikon Luxury Hotel in Abuja. The Kogi State Police Command has swung into action towards apprehending the culprits. Meanwhile, the Abuja residents of Lulu, located at the Zone 2 Wuse area of the Federal Capital Territory, has become a mecca of some sort as close allies, sympathizers, well-wishers, workers of the NFF FCT Sports Council, where he was Director General, and the FCDA has been paying him visits. And that's our take on News Bits. I am Christine Opera. Thanks for logging us.